Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the Nashville movement, a movement that is a collection of various groups throughout the city of Nashville, all dedicated toward social justice. And we're fortunate this morning to have one of the members for this first segment of that group, Miss MMacaraeg, who is the director of the Tennessee Jobs with Justice. And of course, Miss MMacaraeg, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Well, thank you, Dr. Haney. I'm glad to be here.
And to tell you how delighted we are to have you and this group here. We know that soon we will be joined by other members of your group with the idea of trying to at least over the next two segments give our audience some idea in terms of the diversity of this particular group. Let's start off, Ms. MMacaraeg, by having you to give us a little information about your background and some of the things that were important in terms of bringing you here, and especially the organization that you are the executive director of, Middle Tennessee Jobs with Justice, and then we'll talk about other things in reference to that particular organization.
Well, thank you, Dr. Haney. Well, I think it's really important to say that I'm the child of parents who immigrated here to this country in 1974. In fact, I was myself 6 years old when our family came from the Philippines during a martial law, and probably would have lived our whole lives in the Philippines happy with the rest of our family. But conditions that had created a civil war, where a country that had suffered under 150 years of colonialism and 50 years of United States military occupation, was struggling to create its own self-sufficient economy and struggling with the legacy of dictators. So our family left and came here in 1974 and I settled here with them. My father was a doctor and had finished med school, but when we came here, he got his degree all over again, and we spent our childhood growing up in Native American Indian reservations as he doctored them. My uncle, when he came here, had been the chief foreign editor of the Manila Times and worked various jobs, one of them as a janitor. And so my mother is a U.S. citizen, and I've always, through that experience, had the perspective that everyone who comes to this country, we're all and have all always been immigrants.
Immigrants,
or we have been brought here against our will.
Very good.
And that the biggest dream in this country that we uphold is that we're here to pursue our happiness. And so when we have people who are working in jobs that they live in order to work rather than working so that they can live happy and fruitful lives, those are against the values that America stands for. So we came together to form an organization called the Nashville Movement. Mid-Tennessee Jobs with Justice, where I'm the director, is only one organization that's part of the Nashville Movement. There are 4 different organizations that came together. The Urban Epicenter, which organizes in the grassroots African-American community here. Mid-Tennessee Jobs with Justice, that's a coalition which brings together labor, faith, community, and student organizations. The Nashville Homeless Power Project, that's a poor people's human rights organization which has been organizing in Nashville to secure adequate housing and human dignity and respect and on the job for some of our poorest workers here in Nashville. And the Tennessee Immigrant Refugee Rights Coalition, which has historically stood up for the rights of immigrants and refugees here in the state.
And so all of these organizations are coming together, and now you call it the Nashville Movement. And of course, what we'll have after this first segment will be members of various organizations within the Nashville Movement, all looking together to try to create a better situation for workers, better situation for ethnics, a better situation for immigrants, a better situation for Americans, as you so well indicated. Is that essentially what we're trying to do here?
That's right, Dr. Haney. And you know, we know that it's going to take a broad reach into the communities to be able to make the sorts of changes happen here in Davidson County that really need to happen.
And of course, this organization is moving toward that. I think you've got about half a minute. Why don't you, in a real sense, summarize that organization over the last next 30 seconds?
Well, you know, the Nashville Movement really wants to pick up and energize on on the legacy that was set by Dr. Martin Luther King, and we intentionally chose the name to hearken to that, especially in one of his last great speeches and his actions to support the sanitation workers in Memphis. But that civil rights movement looks different now. It's a human rights movement. That's the movement he was gesturing towards, and it's it includes working class white folks, brown folks, and black folks that need to come together in solidarity to really stand up for their own dignity and respect.
Very good. Of course, Ms. MacAraeg, let me thank you for bringing that excellent information by. And of course, as we said, we will be joined during this next segment by other members from this group, and they too will probably give us some additional information. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. The topic again is